our legal staff has decided that they're not getting anywhere in pursuing the site where we had hoped to put the convention center. Council's been briefed. We haven't taken any formal action yet, but I think you can think that's forthcoming in the next week or two. And we're going to go back to the consultant and revisit the site selection and see if we can't find another site that fits our needs. We need a site that's both affordable and one that fits the sites of a convention center with all the intricacies that implies.
Came out today, they were seeking $100 million, over $168 per square foot. Did that surprise you?
Well, you know, when we started down this road, we knew this site was going to be tough to evaluate on a price, but we considered the best site, and we believed we could afford the price. But as we continue negotiations, it seems less and less likely that it's going to work inside the MAP's budget, and you know, we better figure out what to do next. So we're pulling the plug.
Downtown real estate has only accelerated in terms of values and pricing. Mm-hmm. How concerned are you that other options that might have been possible earlier will encounter the same difficulty?
Well, I think we're fortunate that we have already negotiated, you know, the parcels on the park, you know, for instance, which are close by. But yeah, if your point is that, you know, we've always wanted to create a market for downtown real estate, and now we've priced ourselves out of the market. I think that's one of the interesting results of, you know, of MAPS and MAPS for Kids and all the things we've done. But I'd like to think there are other sites available to us, and you know, we're fortunate to have available real estate that would hold a convention center. But we're, you know, if not back to square one, close back to square one, and we'll just re-engage with the consultant that helped us down this road and look at what our options are.
How concerned are you that we had 7 hotel companies, big names, bidding to do a hotel on that site? Are you concerned that the city will be able to keep them interested?
I would think that they'll be just as interested on another site.
How far back does this set the project?
On a timetable, it's hard to evaluate. You know, we had done the A&E on this site, and that A&E is probably not going to be transferable. But it'd be premature of me to guess. Obviously, it doesn't help.
Do you know how far into A&E this project was?
Well, it was enough to configure the elements, you know, of a convention center, and so, you know, so it wasn't much further than that. But we'd spent, you know, quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to put all the pieces together on the site that we had. And I suspect that when we pick another site, that the pieces won't go back in together the same way. But, you know, this is it's not like we're the first people to ever build a convention center. There's a lot of smart people out there with a lot of experience, and we'll be able to tap into that knowledge base.
Was it ever determined what a possible purchase price was for buying and moving the substation?
No, we've not engaged on moving the substation at all. And, you know, the options there remain. You can build around it, you could cover it, or you could move it. But we haven't taken any steps toward any one of those 3.
Fair to say, though, there was some determination. It looked like a bigger task than they originally expected, or not?
I don't know that we've revisited enough to know. And that would probably, you know, take a lot more information than we have today. But, you know, the last time we revisited it, what was that, summer of 2009? Yeah, mm-hmm. So we haven't looked at it since.
The consultants, when they first did their site selection, they indicated that if everything were equal, you can't have a better convention center site than the one we have now. Do you think Cox Center site should be revisited?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think every site that was visited previously should be revisited again. And, you know, they all have their pros and cons. But, you know, at the end of the day, every dollar you spend on land is a dollar you can't spend on the actual building itself. And the whole idea is to build a convention center that's considerably larger and considerably technology advanced. And so, you know, we want to spend the money on the things that will actually bring economic development into the city. And paying, you know, more and more for land is not conducive to that goal.
How much does this impact the Boulevard project and the streetcar project?
Well, we need to look at that, and I think it at least deserves to be revisited on the streetcar project. I don't know that it impacts the Boulevard much. It would be a better question as to what is going to wind up on this piece of real estate. If it's not a convention center, you know, what is ultimately going to wind up there, and that might impact the Boulevard. But I don't anticipate it affecting the construction of the Boulevard.
There was one parcel that was not controlled by RICO, the Iris Goodyear. Mm-hmm. What was the status of that?
It's the same steps have been taken.
So that is being abandoned as well?
Yes.
Can you tell me, do you all know how much that was being
I don't.
contested for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Have you been given any idea as to what kind of delay we're looking at?
No, obviously it doesn't help, but we'll try to minimize the delay as much as we can.
Can you tell me what schedule was being targeted before this in terms of starting construction and opening?
Not specifically. The next steps were evident, but we're trying to negotiate a price, and it's apparent we're not going to be able to negotiate a price that we can afford.